I did this for many investors, but when I found out about this X strategy that only works on 1 minute time frame, everything changed. I started cashing out on a daily basis, and I know I dropped the strategy on 1 minute few days ago, but this one is the real deal. This one is the bomb. So the first thing first is you want to mark the first line, and you must have at least 3 to 5 retest. That's basically it. It must have at least 3 to 5 retest, and if you don't want to mark it from the wicks, you can mark it from the body, and preferably I'll advise you to mark it from the body. And if you look at this one also have 3 weeks. So for this trade or this video, I'll be teaching you guys the buy and sell entry model, and I'll be giving you some other confluence you need to add to get something close to like 80% win rates using this strategy. So basically, you mark the X, which I'm going to do again. You mark the X. You don't really need to draw it, but if you can see it without marking all this stuff, then it's good. So you mark the X from the body, not from the wicks or anyhow you want it, and then you want to look for zones around the X. That's basically it. You want to look for zones around the X, and you can see there's 3 zones around that point here. But to be very safe, so you don't blow your account, I'm going to give you a tip that you need to use, because if you don't use it, you'll be losing this thing. Your win rate will drop to like 40%. So the first tip is that there must be liquidity above your X points. That's it, and you can tip it at that point. There must be liquidity above your 12 points, and you don't want to trade around those 1, 2, 3 retest. You want to be targeting the 4th or 5th retest. That's basically it. To be safer, you want to target the 4th or 5th retest, and basically that's the 4th retest. And if you look at this point, you can see that the trade ran like it really went up. And if you look at this sell example, I'm going to be breaking this one down too. So first thing first, you want to mark your X, and from this point, this is the wrong way to mark your X. If you are marking your X like this, you are going to blow your account, or your entry will not be like neat. It has to go deeper into the distance. So to make it go deeper, you want to mark it from the body. You can see it is literally kissing the body. That's basically it. You want to mark it from the body rather than the wicks, because the wicks isn't that accurate. So this is the setup, the X setup that you mark from the body, and this is the sell setup. So like the first one I told you guys about, for this one to really make money with this X setup, you must have at least a minimum of 3 retests. That's it. It's still the same thing for the buy and the sell. Everything must have the same criteria, fulfill the same criteria. Must have a minimum of 3 retests, and then after you get those 3 retests, you want to do something else. But let me just mark it out so it will be much more cleaner. You can see this one looks cleaner. So you want to look for the zones around those X setup, and if you look at that point, price was expecting 50% of that supply zone there with 1 or 2 retests there. You want to ignore all this 1 or 2 retests, because this setup is very risky, and you are trading on 1 minute time frame. So you need to be very sure that price is going to drop, or you need to be very sure that price is going to go up. And like I said before, you need to have liquidity points. You don't want to skip that tip, and the liquidity must be equal lows liquidity for maximum win rate. And if you look to the other side, you can see that that's the 3rd retest there. But if you feel like this 3rd retest is still risky, you can tag in at the 4th retest. But that 3rd retest is, for me, it is very secure. You can tag in at that 4th retest, or maybe go in at that 5th entry there, and you would have made a whole lot of money. That's it. And for the execution, you can see I was selling at that point there because of I was seeing that X setup. And if you look at this setup here, this X setup, you see that the line is very steep. That's basically it. The line is very steep. If the line is as steep as this, you don't want to really towards that entry. You don't want to swing it. You just want to cash a small sell and then a small buy, because all these kind of entries that the X setup is very steep, they don't really hold for a long time. But the one I explained, those ones are the ones for swing entry. So why I entered sell at this point is because price was literally kissing the high of that my X point, and when it kisses the high of that my X point, you close and use this confirmation for the next trade. Basically what you want to do is you want to combine your X setup with Fibonacci, and basically you want to find the sweet spot. And where is the sweet spot? 261.4. so if price breaks out from your X setup, what you want to do is you want to use the Fibonacci to get your reversal point, and then when price gets to your reversal point, you sell. Or basically you want to mark the high or the week of, or the highest point that price got to before it started reversing, and then for the lower part you want to put it at the X point. And if you have done that, when price retest at the 26.1.8 zone, what you want to do is you want to look for retest or re-entries around that point here and target lower price, or let's just say the X setup basically. So if you got value from this video, you want to get this result on from next week, click link in description, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.